So listen, you know how sometimes you just do something, and you think it's gonna be totally fine, a little white lie, right? And then it just blows up in your face in a way you could never, ever have seen coming? Like, seriously, holy crap, what happened next was. I'm still kind of processing it, honestly. Like, I probably should have seen this coming, but between us, I totally didn't. I mean, who would? It all started with jury duty. Yeah, jury duty. Can you believe it? Me, Chloe, 27 years old, and I get this stupid summons in the mail. My first thought, obviously, was, are you kidding me right now? Like, I have a job, I have things to do. I don't have time to sit in some dusty old courthouse listening to boring legal stuff for days on end. My job, you know, the office situation? It's not like I can just take off for a week and expect everything to be fine. My boss, she's particular. Let's just say she keeps a pretty tight ship, and me being gone would mean a mountain of paperwork when I got back, and I just can't. My life is busy enough as it is, you know? So, I'm holding this summons, staring at it, and I'm like, nope. Absolutely not. I call my friend Sarah, just to vent, and she's like, just go, it's not that bad. And in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, easy for you to say, your job isn't like mine. I mean, some people just don't understand how complicated my life is. They just assume things are easy for everyone. Then I started thinking about ways to get out of it. I googled stuff, obviously. How to get out of jury duty, excuses for jury duty, all that. And most of it was just, like, pretend to be biased or say you hate cops. But that felt too direct. Too obvious. I needed something believable, something that would make them just go, oh, dear, yes, you absolutely cannot serve. And then, it hit me. Like a lightning bolt, I swear. A creepy man story. Not too specific, just enough to be unsettling. You know, like, I felt unsafe. Because, honestly, who's going to question a woman feeling unsafe? Nobody. People are always so quick to jump on that, especially now with everything going on. It's a sad reality, but it's true, right? So, I started piecing it together in my head. I went in on the assigned day, all dressed up, looking a little bit flustered, but mostly just normal. Not like I was trying too hard. I sat there in the waiting room, listening to the judge rattle off all the usual stuff about civic duty and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just nodding along, waiting for my moment. When they started doing the whole any reason you can't serve thing, I raised my hand, like, super meekly. My heart was pounding, honestly. I was like, oh my God, is this gonna work? But I had to try. The judge, this old guy with kind eyes, asked me to approach the bench, and I walked up, trying to look, you know, a little bit vulnerable. Not overly dramatic, just quietly distressed. I took a deep breath, and I looked him right in the eye, and I said, Your Honor, I don't think I can serve right now. I'm a little shaken. I paused, like I was trying to hold back tears, but not actually crying, just on the verge. You gotta sell it, you know? He asked, shaken, Miss Chloe? Is everything all right? And I went into it. Well, Your Honor, I started, my voice a little shaky, the other day, when I was walking home from work, it was getting dark, and, this man, he was just, lurking. I used the word lurking because it sounds really creepy without having to describe much. He was just standing there, across the street from my apartment building, just, watching me. And when I got inside, I looked out my window, and he was still there. Just standing. And then, he smiled. A really, unsettling smile. I kind of trailed off, like I was reliving some traumatic event. I made sure to emphasize the watching part, the unsettling smile. I mean, it was all made up, obviously. I walk home from work, and it's usually fine. But you gotta make it real, you know? The judge leaned forward, looking all serious. He asked if I'd reported it. I said, no, Your Honor. I was too scared. I just I wanted to forget it. Which was, like, the perfect answer. Because if I'd said I reported it, they might actually look into it, and then what? No, keeping it vague was key. He nodded slowly. I understand, Miss Chloe. That sounds like a very distressing experience. We wouldn't want you to be distracted while serving on a jury. You are excused. Oh. My God. I swear, the relief that washed over me was like a physical thing. I practically floated out of that courtroom. I got out. It worked. I went home, called Liam, my boyfriend, and told him. He was like, "Oh my gosh, Chloe, are you okay? That sounds awful. Did you really see someone?" And I was like, "Yeah, Liam, it was so scary. I'm still kind of freaked out." I mean, I had to keep up the charade, right? He's such a good guy, Liam. A little too nice sometimes, honestly. He avoids conflict like the plague. Like, if I ever got mad at him, he'd just get this deer-in-headlights look and agree with whatever I said. It's sweet, but also, sometimes I wish he'd push back a little, you know? Just for fun. But he was totally sympathetic. He was all, "Are you sure you don't want to, like, stay home from work tomorrow? I can come over and make dinner." See? Too nice. I mean, between us, I wanted to scream, "It was fake, you dork." But obviously, I couldn't. So I just let him coddle me a little. It was kind of nice, actually. The next day, I went to work, feeling great. No jury duty. I even told a couple of my coworkers, Sarah and Brenda, about it. Just, like, in passing. "Oh my gosh, you guys, I got out of jury duty." I told them this story about a creepy guy following me, and they totally bought it. I said it in a hushed, conspiratorial whisper, like we were sharing a secret. And they were all, "No way. That's brilliant." Brenda, especially, she just laughed, like, "You're so bad, Chloe." She gets me. Sarah was a little more reserved, like, "Oh, you really told them that?" And in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, Sarah, I did. What's it to you, bitch?" But I just smiled and said, "Hey, a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do, right?" That's where it started, I think. Brenda's one of those people who's, like, super active on Facebook. Not like me, I just post a cute selfie every now and then, or a picture of me and Liam looking all coupley, even when we're secretly arguing about who's gonna pay for takeout. He usually just pays, honestly. Which is fine. My money's for, you know, my money. His money can cover the shared stuff. He's the provider type, you know? Very old school. Sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's like, "Can you make a decision, please?" But I digress. Anyway, Brenda, she posts everything. I mean, everything. And I guess she thought my story was just, like, the funniest, wildest thing. So she posted something like, "OMG, my friend Chloe is a genius. She got out of jury duty by making up the most insane creepy man story," and they totally bought it. And then she tagged me. My phone blew up. Not immediately, but, like, an hour later. People I barely knew, friends of friends, people from high school, all commenting. "OMG, Chloe, you're hilarious. Tell us the story." That's amazing. Some people were, like, genuinely impressed. Others were like, "Wow, that's bold." I mean, yeah, it was bold. And it worked. I felt a rush of validation, honestly. It felt good to be seen as clever and resourceful. Liam, of course, saw it and texted me. "Chloe, is that really what Brenda posted? Are you sure you want that out there?" And I'm like, "Liam, relax. It's just Facebook. It's fine. Everyone knows it's a joke." But deep down, I was a little annoyed he was raining on my parade. Why can't he just be happy for me? He's such a killjoy sometimes. Always so worried about little things. You'd think he'd be proud of my quick thinking. Then things got weird. Someone I didn't even know commented, "Wait, what's the story? I need to hear it. Is it really true, or did she just make it up?" And Brenda, bless her heart, but also, like, why, Brenda, why? She replied to the comment, "Oh, it was super convincing." She said this guy was lurking outside her apartment building, just watching her, and then he smiled this really creepy smile. Totally freaked her out. But yeah, she totally pulled a fast one on the judge. LOL. Suddenly, the tone shifted. Instead of people laughing with me, some comments started to get serious. "That's not funny, Brenda. This is a serious issue for women. Wow, if that's true, she should have called the police. Is she okay? We need to keep our community safe." And then someone else, some random guy, commented, "Does she have a description of the guy? We need to watch out for him." My stomach did a little flip. Okay, this was not the reaction I was expecting. It went from haha, funny lie to OMG, creepy man alert. I started to get a bit of a panic. I texted Brenda, "Hey, maybe take that post down? It's getting a little intense." But she just replied, "Why? It's viral. Everyone's talking about you." I wanted to punch something. She's such a... I don't even know. Sometimes I wonder why I'm friends with her. Liam called me that night, sounding really worried. "Chloe, this is getting out of hand. People are actually believing this. Someone in my work group chat, his cousin lives near your area, and they're asking if you're okay, and if you saw anything specific." My face went hot. Liam, it's Facebook. It's not real life. People are being dramatic. I hated that he was making me feel bad. Like I was the one who did something wrong. All I did was get out of jury duty. "It's not like I hurt anyone." "You're being dramatic," I told him, trying to sound calm, but inside I was fuming. "It's not that serious." But he wasn't backing down. "Chloe, it is serious. What if someone tries to find this creepy man? What if someone actually does something? You put a story out there that people are taking seriously. Well, maybe people shouldn't be so gullible." I shot back. "It's not my fault if they can't take a joke." This whole thing was getting ridiculous. Why was everyone making such a big deal out of it? It was just a way to skip some boring obligation. It wasn't like I was, like, robbing a bank. Then, the local community Facebook group, the Phoenix Neighborhood Watch or something like that, picked it up. Someone shared Brenda's post, or maybe a screenshot of it, I don't even know, the whole thing was a blur. And then it was, like, a full-blown manhunt. Stay safe, ladies. Be vigilant. Any description? What did he look like? Suddenly, everyone was talking about the creepy man of Chloe Street. It was insane. My phone was constantly buzzing with notifications. I tried to ignore them, but it was impossible. People were messaging me directly, "Are you safe, Chloe? Did you see him again?" I even got a message from someone asking if I needed a ride home from work because it's dangerous out there. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell everyone it was fake, but then what? Then I'd be branded a liar. And not just a funny lie to skip jury duty liar, but have made up a terrifying story that scared an entire community liar. That was a whole different level. I started deleting comments, trying to take down Brenda's post, but she had to do it herself, and she was being slow, and just trying to make it all disappear. But it was too late. The internet, man, it never forgets. It just kept spreading. Liam was getting really distant. He wasn't nagging me anymore, which was a relief, but he just seemed tired. Disengaged. I tried to pull him close, to cuddle on the couch, but he just felt like he wasn't really there. "What's wrong?" I asked him one night, trying to be sweet. He just shrugged. "Nothing, Chloe. Just tired." And in my head, I'm thinking, ugh, he's so boring when he's like this. Why can't he just tell me what's wrong so I can fix it or ignore it? The situation at work got awkward, too. Some of my coworkers started looking at me weird. Not Sarah and Brenda, but others. I heard whispers, like, is that the girl who fabricated the story? Or, did she really do that? It was humiliating. I tried to act like nothing was wrong, like I was totally oblivious to their judgments. But between us, I wanted to turn around and be like, yeah, I did it, so what? At least I'm not stuck here like you losers. But I didn't. I just put on my polite public face and pretended to be busy. Then one day, this reporter, from a small online news outlet, messaged me on Facebook. Hello, Chloe, I'm Jane from Phoenix Local News. We're doing a story on community safety, and we heard about your frightening experience. Would you be willing to do an interview? My heart stopped. A reporter? Oh my God, this was bad. This was really bad. I ignored her, obviously. But she was persistent. She messaged Brenda, too. Brenda actually replied to her, like, oh, I don't know if Chloe wants to talk about it, it was really scary for her. I saw the message when Brenda showed me later, and I almost throttled her. She was feeding the beast. I started having full-blown panic attacks. I couldn't sleep. Every time my phone buzzed, I jumped. I felt like everyone was looking at me, judging me. It was all so unfair. All I wanted was to avoid jury duty. Was that so wrong? One evening, Liam came home and he looked different. There was something in his eyes I hadn't seen before. He was usually so gentle, so accommodating. But this was hard. He sat me down on the couch, not in his usual soft way, but more like he was bracing for something. Chloe, he started, his voice flat, we need to talk about this creepy man story. I immediately went on the defensive. Liam, I told you, it's blown out of proportion. It's just stupid Facebook drama. No, Chloe, it's not. It's a lie. And it's gotten completely out of hand. He looked me right in the eye, and for once, I couldn't gaslight him. His gaze was too steady. I know you made it up. You told me it was so scary the day you got out of jury duty, and then a few days later, you laughed about it with Brenda when you thought I wasn't listening. I heard you say, they totally bought it. My blood ran cold. He heard me? Oh, God. How long had he known? I immediately tried to cry, to use the weaponized vulnerability. My eyes welled up. Liam, how could you say that? How could you accuse me? I was genuinely scared. You're just being so mean. I tried to make my voice quiver. I thought about how he'd always melt when I cried, how he'd rush to apologize and comfort me. But he didn't. He just watched me, his face impassive. No, Chloe. I'm not being mean. I'm being honest. This lie has put the entire community on edge. People are actually scared. And you're still acting like it's just some minor inconvenience. It's not. He took a deep breath. I'm done, Chloe. My tears instantly dried up. Done? What are you talking about? Us, he said. I can't do this anymore. The gaslighting, the constant need for validation, making up stories. I can't live like this. I tried. I really tried to make it work, to ignore things, to be understanding. But this is too much. You made a public lie that's causing real fear, and you refuse to take any responsibility for it. You don't even see what you did as wrong. My jaw dropped. I was stunned. Liam? The too nice Liam? Breaking up with me? This wasn't happening. You're breaking up with me over a jury duty thing? I shrieked. Are you insane? You're being completely ridiculous. No, he said, shaking his head. I'm breaking up with you because this is who you are. This isn't just about jury duty. It's about every time you twist things, every time you blame me for your problems, every time you expect me to clean up your messes while you just shrug and say it's everyone else's fault. He stood up. I'm moving out. My brother said I can stay with him in Dallas for a bit. Dallas? My mind was racing. Dallas was, like, across the country. This wasn't a temporary thing. This was permanent. You can't just leave me. I cried, actually crying this time, real tears, because this was my life falling apart. What about the rent? What about everything? I mean, I had my money, but he always covered more of the shared expenses. This was going to be a financial nightmare. He just looked at me sadly. You'll figure it out, Chloe. You always do. And then he walked into the bedroom, started packing a duffel bag. Not a suitcase, just a duffel bag. Like he was making a clean break. I stood there, utterly shocked. This was not how it was supposed to go. The next few days were a blur. Liam moved out, just like that. He barely said goodbye. The apartment felt so empty. And the Facebook drama? It only got worse. The local news reporter, Jane, had found someone else from the jury pool who remembered my story and how I got excused. And that person, a woman named Carol, decided to go on the record. Carol told the reporter everything. Not about my lie, specifically, but how she saw me, how she heard me tell the story, and how the judge excused me because of it. She told the reporter, it sounded so real, and I felt so bad for her. And then the reporter, Jane, started putting two and two together. She must have seen Brenda's post, or the community group's posts. Then came the article. Jury duty deception? Woman's creepy man story sparks community outcry, questions remain. It didn't explicitly say I lied, but it was heavily implied. It quoted Carol, it mentioned the Facebook posts, and it talked about the increasing fear in the community. It said, the local police department stated they have no records of any such incident reported in that area during that time frame. That was the nail in the coffin. Everyone saw it. People I knew, people I worked with. The comments on the article were brutal. She's a liar. She exploited women's fears. This is disgusting. Suddenly, the funny girl who got out of jury duty was the villain. And it was all over Facebook, literally everywhere. Screenshots of Brenda's original post, combined with the news article. My boss called me into her office. Her face was grim. Chloe, she said, we've been getting a lot of calls. People are upset. Our company cannot be associated with this kind of public deception. It goes against our values. We have to let you go. I couldn't breathe. Fired? Because of jury duty? But it wasn't my fault. I stammered. Brenda posted it. And the reporter twisted everything. She just shook her head. Chloe, you created the story. You put it out there. We understand mistakes happen, but your complete lack of accountability for the public distress this has caused, we can't overlook it. So, that was it. Fired. Dumped. Socially ruined. All because of a little story. It's so unfair. I mean, sure, I made up the story. But I didn't ask for it to go viral. I didn't ask for Brenda to post about it. I didn't ask for Liam to be so dramatic and sensitive. And that reporter, she was just looking for a sensational story. Everyone else blew this out of proportion. Everyone else is to blame. Now, I'm living alone, trying to figure out how to pay all the bills myself. It's ridiculous how much rent is. I've tried applying for new jobs, but it's like everyone's heard. I get weird looks at interviews, and then no call back. My Facebook is a wasteland of angry comments and unfriends. Even Brenda, that two-faced bitch, she's not talking to me much. She's probably embarrassed. Good for her. I heard through the grapevine that Liam is doing great in Dallas. He found a new girlfriend, some super sweet girl who works with animals or something. Probably just as boring as him. I bet she's, like, totally understanding and never challenges him. Good for them. I don't care anymore. Honestly, I really don't. They can all think what they want. It's their problem, not mine. I just wanted to skip jury duty. Is that really so much to ask? People are so quick to judge. I didn't hurt anyone. It's not my fault if they believed me.